No soy Latino, pero me gusta la cultura. What's up, people? Welcome to the Toro Perspective. I'm going to go back to that first part in a little bit. I'm going to tell y'all how I learned Spanish and about my background and just so much about enjoying and embracing the Latin culture. So let's off the top. I was raised basically in the D.C. area, mostly in various parts of Virginia, and then when I was in my 20s, I was selling furniture and then later cars, and I learned that most of the people making the bigger commissions were bilingual. And I had like a lot of people, I had a basic 2 years or whatever high school Spanish, which doesn't really give you shit for real life situations. So, anyways, at the store, like one day, like customers would come in and they would say basically buscando para algo habla español, and they would some like your typical like gringos would be like, I can't help you, I don't speak Spanish, or Jose is not available, or whatever. And eventually I was like, oh, okay, yo puedo ayudarte, que te quiere, and eventually they would lose me and start speaking English, or Jose would be freed up and I would call him over. But by that time, I'm at least getting half the sale. And so I did that for like a year or two in car sales, furniture sales, etc. And then there was one store that I was working, and also around that time, only place I could get an affordable apartment close to DC was in Langley Park or Tacoma Park, Maryland. University of New Hampshire Boulevard for those DC dudes you might know. And that's predominantly El Salvadoran neighborhood. To this day, it's like El Salvador, MS-13 gang, and just crazy. So anyways, fast forward like another year, and I'm working this discount furniture store, and the store is supposed to go out of business in like 3 months, and these guys come up as they're part of this liquidation company, and happens to be like 5 Puerto Rican guys from South Florida, but most of them hadn't been in Florida that long at all. They were straight from PR. And they're like, hey, we like to party, we like to hang out or whatever. We need, somebody to show us what's what. So I'm like, I got you. I'll show you DC. So, initially, I showed them like a lot of strip clubs, like the old school, the old DC heads, they know, like Penthouse and Macombo Lounge, Georgia Avenue, all day. And then, then I started showing them Chelsea's and Bravo Bravo and Club Havana, which were the premier like Latin clubs, salsa merengue, mostly in the DC area. And so, like I say, I'm gradually becoming more culturally aware. And then, there was this chick that one of the guys from South Florida was really interested in. It used to go like every week to one of the clubs we go to, and he was always sweating or looking at me. He was always scared to really like roll up on her. And me with a little extra liquid courage, and I kind of looked sharp, was wearing the right suit that night or whatever. We used to roll out in our suits from work a lot of times, it looked sort of like, baby mafiosos. That was the perception anyways. We didn't try to represent that, but whatever. So, I roll up and just held out my hand, like, baila conmigo, dance with me. And she obliged, and next thing you know, I'm smashing the chick that this dude sat on the sidelines and idolized for like a month. So it was kind of that point where them dudes were like, we don't think you're a white guy. You're one of us. That was some like real like boricua to the core shit that you did. And you know he had his eye on that girl, whatever. That's some real whatever. And and so basically, that, like I say, I didn't think much of it or whatever. It was just one of those things. And anyway, so I started learning a lot from those dudes, and they embraced me as their own a lot. And we'd go places, and nobody, they'd speak a lot of Spanish between themselves. I was just trying to pick up stuff. I wasn't following along well, but they spoke enough English. And but a lot of times at first sight, we'd go places, and people embraced me or just sort of acknowledged me like I was one of them. So I went with it. If somebody asked me directly, I would tell them, no, I'm just a regular white guy. I come from regular white people. I don't hide it or deny it. But if somebody assumes something, if I don't know them or whatever, I'll just go with it. Like whatever they want to think is what they could think. I'm not going to confirm or deny, especially if it benefits me. So, anyways, 2000-ish, I meet my ex-wife, and she's black and Panamanian. It happens to be that I speak more Spanish than her, but she understands more. Because she didn't really, her father pushed like the American education system. Basically forget all that old school stuff. We want you to, he was sort of a sellout, I guess you'd say, because, like, he basically just thought that basically he had to, he was just doing what he thought he had to do by putting an emphasis on just learning English, and instead of like being well-rounded and learning, more about her Panamanian side, So, anyways, because of some of my associates and things I had going on, she assumed that I was Puerto Rican. And I let her think that for like the first 6 months until it was time to introduce her to the family. And one day I just told her, nobody in my family is Puerto Rican, by the way. So, there you have that. 2008. Well, 2007, I'm divorced. And 2008, I found myself traveling to Dominican Republic for the first time. And, it was at that point, after that first trip, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should work on my Spanish. Plus, I'm looking for something creative and, something to learn, something new to learn and really work on, occupy my mind, try to maybe, evolve a little bit or develop, expand my horizons, blah, blah, blah. So, anyways, but if I start with something fun like learning Spanish, continuing where I took off, then maybe I'll be more motivated, inspired to do other stuff. So, a friend of mine used to download a lot of music and videos, and so he bootlegged Rosetta Stone for me, levels 1 through 3, and and some of it, there's some little tricks I had to do, and not all the sections worked properly, but I worked hard, like an hour a day for like a year, and each subsequent trip, people were amazed. A lot of the hotel owners and stuff that I would come across that, were Dominican, and business owners, they got to a point where they would only speak to me in Spanish. And I took that as like a huge respect, even though I wasn't quite fully understanding them at that time. So, I finished like Rosetta Stone 1 through 3 in like a year and a half. And then there was like a little downtime after levels 4 and 5 came out. It took like forever for my friend at work to actually be able to get his hands on those. So I slacked for like a while and sort of dragged my ass through levels 4 and 5. But eventually I got them, and then I cracked down and finished it up. And it's great for your vocabulary. It's great for your speaking. I'll say speaking wise, I'm very proficient. Listening, I still have a lot of work to do. I'm not gonna lie. Some days I'm like, man, my listening skills just suck sometimes, but I'm aware of it, that I need work. And so, that's what it is. Esto lo que hay. And so, I encourage all the guys that come down here from the States, to embrace the culture, learn bachata, learn Spanish, a little bit, forget all like American music and all that shit when you come down here. Just embrace the local thing. I mean, granted, some stuff is a combination of the two, but mix it up a little bit. You don't gotta, just like I say, your experience will be enhanced like tenfold. The more you embrace it, and the more you can enjoy it, and just the more open you become to it. And that's really all I gotta say on it. I'm really glad that I've learned and appreciate it. And again, no soy Latino, pero me gusta la cultura. Which is, I'm not Latin. But I like the culture. I love the culture. I embrace it. And so with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe, smash the like, send me a little love, some messages. Any questions you have, I'll be glad to answer them, and maybe we'll cross paths.